Hey, what's up guys? My name is Azlyn. This is my 1985 Mazda Rx7, clearly rotary powered. It's a LS swap. It's currently got an aluminum 5.3. It's got forged rods and pistons, ported 243 heads, Brian Tooley intake, custom ground cam, and it's currently powered by an 85mm turbo. It's an 85103 T6 housing. Car started out as a bone stock Mazda Rx7, had a 12A in it, stick shift car. Real clean, good driving car, but I always wanted to V8 swap one of these cars because an 85 Rx7 was actually my first car growing up as a kid. So it's kind of nostalgic for me. Originally, I swapped in an Ls1 with a T56 trans, got the car running on motor and then added heads cam intake. I shot a nitrous on it, went out, raced the car. It was a lot of fun, but we wanted to start doing some more of the no prep and drag racing, be a little bit more competitive. So started to plan out a different direction for the build, and that's where the turbo build came in. So like I said, it's an LH6 5.3 aluminum block. It's a VS Racing turbo and fuel system. It's got Bosch 210 injectors, dash 8 feed. It's got the factory fuel tank that feeds a surge tank with twin pumps inside the surge tank, feeding the rails. As far as performance numbers and stuff like that, haven't had it on the dyno yet or to the track because it's still got the stick in it, and it's going to be getting an automatic roll cage, all that good stuff before I hit the track. But fuel calculations, right around 900 wheel on just over 15 pounds of boost. Haven't had a chance to really turn it up past then because the street just won't hold it from a roll with these, with this, the trans in it. It's all powered by Holley EFI engine management system. So that's something that, has been definitely instrumental in getting the car up and running the way, the way I wanted it to be, because it allows you adjustability and functionality of all the parameters that that you want at your fingertips. You can make all the changes you need, and you can make adjustments, based on, even weather conditions, to get the tune right. I put a lot of time into learning the tuning. I've had some help from friends over the years with some pointers and tips on the tuning and stuff like that. Quick shout out to Danny Traver and Justin Daniels on that front. And as far as other people that have helped with this build, a big one is going to be Gerardo Franco at Florida Auto Performance, FAP in Cape. He helps me a lot with a lot of the fabrication, all the piping, all these pretty welds that you see, that's all G's work. We did a custom front cross member, we did custom suspension components, we obviously all the hot side piping, the cold side piping. He was absolutely instrumental in, making all that stuff happen. The rest of his crew at FAP, Chris, Hector, and then my buddy AJ Clemens, who also came by, and we literally pulled an all-nighter to get this thing running, till 5 in the morning, to be able to drive it out of there. So came together relatively quickly. I mean, we started the turbo build, with everything, had it done in just over 2 days. So, it really came together pretty quickly. I was able to start working on the tune and get it all lined out. Big shout outs to those guys, and also, again, the Holley EFI I think has been, one of the biggest pluses to the whole deal. I guess we'll walk over to the interior here too. Interior right now is pretty stock. It's, pretty full interior. It's got a, it's got some custom paneling, like the door panels and stuff. I did these door panels just to be able to clear the cage bars, so the door bars, when they come down, will have plenty of room and stuff. And like I said, it's still a 6-speed manual. This is, by the way, a bone stock T56 from a '98 Camaro. So if we're talking micro records, this might be the fastest a bone stock T56 has ever been on planet Earth. So obviously the weight plays a big part in that, and no drag strip launches with this kind of power level. Has a Holley digital dash, has custom 1980s broken Mazda plastics, energy steering wheel. I just wanted something a little bit more racy than the big, 80s Mazda wheel. Other than that, I mean, the interior is pretty basic. It's I try to keep it pretty clean, keep it pretry simple. I've got all the gauges I need here, so I'm not a big fan of like all the gauges on the pillars and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, car runs and drives great. So, and I will check out the fuel system over here in the back real quick. So this is the surge tank setup that I've got. So it's got a high flow fuel pump that is E85 capable that feeds this surge tank from the factory tank. That surge tank has twin pumps in it, which then feed the rails on the motor. Then there's a return from the fuel pressure regulator to the surge tank, and then a return from the surge tank to the factory tank. So it kind of keeps the fuel moving, and it's never runs dry of fuel. If there's any overflow, it drains back to the factory tank, and it works out pretty well. Ethanol content sensors, in the return line right by this fuel module. So keeps an eye on E85 content. Through the Holley, I'm able to control the tune, timing, and also boost pressure through the E85 content sensor. So if it senses you know, less than ideal E85 conditions, it can switch between E85 and pump gas, and it'll change the entire map based on the parameters that I put in for those tables. So it's very helpful. You can get very creative with some of the 2D custom tuning tables in the Holly, so works out pretty nice. It's got a custom aluminum wing, kind of keep the car a little straight. When it was on nitrous before, I was having some issues where the car would kind of want to wander a bit, top of third into fourth gear, and this actually did a lot to straighten it out a bit. As far as the rear end, it's a Ford Explorer 8.8. Currently has 31 spline axles, got Explorer rear disc brakes. That brings me also to another shout out, my buddy Brian Goss. He helped me a lot with the brackets so that we can get the bars for like the 4-link correct. You know, getting them running in the right direction, setting up the instant center, making sure all that stuff is good. It's got a 373 gear in it right now. It has Mustang Strange single adjustable rear coilovers in it. Very limited on suspension components that are any kind of a bolt-in for this car, you know, because a lot of the Rx7 stuff is more catered towards the drift and the road race community. So not a lot of stuff for drag racing, so you got to get kind of creative with some of the rear suspension. Currently rolling on a 26 by 10. They're really like an 8.5 wide on a 15-inch wheel. And I'd like to be able to get a 28-inch tire on it. My buddy Brian really wants me to mini tub it, and that's probably going to be in the future, but you know, that's just a fun thing because it's a pretty big, you know, expensive project to take on. Front suspension wise, it currently has stock Rx7 front struts. The front struts on these cars are integrated in with the hub, so it's very difficult to find any kind of replacements. So you literally have to replace the inside cartridge insert on these. So plans in the future are probably going to be for like retrofitting a Mustang style front spindle so that it opens up other options for, you know, double adjustables and, you know, good spring rates and stuff, you know, to get some of the front end travel that you're going to need for no prep racing. You know, so far, I mean, the car's, you know, been together now in this configuration for going right on about 3 weeks, I would say. You know, it came together pretty quickly. It runs, drives great. But, you know, got to get the automatic in there, got to get the cage in there to, you know, start doing some track times with it. The goal ultimately is to, you know, obviously be, you know, kind of consistent, low fives, but I want to be able to turn it up and get, you know, that 4-second pass at 140 plus in the 8th. So, you know, we'll make the power to do it. It's just going to be a matter of getting the chassis to work and getting the car down, you know, safely and straight. So, but it's been a fun project. This has been probably my, my favorite build so far. All right, let's go drive it. All right, let's do it. So yeah, kind of like I was telling you a bit off camera, I've got it turned pretty far down for this so we can get some useful footage. And you know, obviously out on the roads here, you know, you want to be a little safe, not too sketchy. So I'll try to get into it a little bit in third. Hopefully the street holds it. You know, fourth gear will be traffic dependent. We'll put it there. So we're not trying to get too crazy, so. Of course. So relatively straight, not too bad.
Pretty good. I didn't really feel any sides to it.
Yeah, not too bad. Like I said, I got it turned down pretty far because, you know, too much it gets silly. Yeah. So, and it's like the hottest day ever. So.
Yeah, it is.
Just one more quick pull. Starting to spin fourth. You feel it? It's hard to spin fourth here pretty bad. You can smell it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about 13 pounds of boost. So it gets rowdy when you start, you know, getting them higher boost levels and stuff. Like I haven't even had it turned up past 15 yet because there's just no way. Like 15, you couldn't even do that.
Yeah,
like it would just.
That would have been.
Yeah, it's way too sketchy. So.
Jeez. That is crazy. Pulls so nice.
And I mean, this hot ass day, you know, 2 back-to-back pulls through 3rd and 4th gear, you know, cooling temps are 198 degrees, you know, so I mean, it's still, you know, it'll be, you know, 15 degrees cooler probably with air that isn't trying to melt you. So, and also like it's got a big cam in it, and the drivability, you know, it's pretty smooth, and a lot of that's, you know, because of the Holly.